talk about entertainment, it's really now far and wide of the mark, isn't it? We're all looking at YouTube to try and find something from yesteryear that makes us smile, makes us laugh, and more importantly, gets us through the day. I've told you before, there's nothing like a bit of Scooby-Doo, Tom and Jerry, the Jetsons. I love all of those Hanna-Barbera cartoons. They're just brilliant. Who remembers Hong Kong Phooey? You do? And the janitor? Yes, you see, still funny today. Not allowed to screen that apparently. Yes, it's not PC enough anymore. But what's fascinating, I find, and I'd love to know if it's like this in your part of the world, over here, there's a major theatre company called the Ambassador Theatre Group. It's part of a big company worldwide, but they own quite a lot of substantial theatres. Now, recently, they've gone around banning certain individual comedians from appearing at said venues. One in particular, this man, Jim Davidson. Now, he filled the theatre down in Torquay, an absolute sellout. But then the manager, according to Jim, for some explicable reason, decided that he didn't want him at the theatre, so cancelled him. So all the people, well, basically were given a refund. All of that money, literally for one night, thousands of pounds, was wiped off the bottom line of this particular theatre. All because this particular gentleman was not a fan of Mr. Davidson. Never mind the public. You get the picture. Now, what's interesting here is that Jim was able to reposition his show 2 miles down the road at a place called Barbican, filled the theatre, made a lot of money in the bar, and turned it all around rather quickly. What he also pointed out, and it's something that I'd like to point out to you, is simply this. When you look on the Ambassador Theatre's website, they're not doing particularly well. In fact, you know, they need money drastically. And when you go to theatres, and said theatres by that particular group, they're begging for money. Buy a chair, buy a plaque, donate to this charity. They're going to take some money off your ticket for that charity. You get the picture. So when you look at the bigger picture of that, you know, and you say, well, why on earth in business would you turn anything away? And it's something we've spoken about before, isn't it? You know, you're going to a coffee shop now and they simply do not want your cash unless you're only prepared to pay by a credit card. It's now happening in theatre. Is it happening in your part of the world? And more importantly, should they be allowed to dictate what they put on at the theatre, even if the public, as was shown with this particular comedian, Jim Davidson, amongst others as well, Roy Chubby Brown has been cancelled, numerous other people, they just don't want you in there. But what they do want is your money. So they're begging on the one hand for you to, as I say, sponsor a seat, but not actually putting on the entertainment that you want to see when you actually turn up in your sponsored seat. Are you with me? I'd love to know what you think to this particular story in the comments below. Should we all walk out en masse until they find somebody that can actually manage the company, that actually puts on the sort of entertainment that clearly people want to see? Is it happening in your part of the world? And more importantly, have you experienced it too? And as ever, do you think it's right or wrong? Do let me know in the comments below. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.